world of bass fishing is our oyster. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and I have learned from the elders. I invite you to buckle up and come along for a ride. This is Stray Cast, the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Hello. Hello,
Oysters.
hello. Oysters. The world is our oyster. Where's our studio audience? Where did they abandon us tonight? Where did they go?
Where did they go?
Where the heck are... Wait, what is that guy doing?
I think they're getting refreshments.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Tell me when to start the show over again. We're not even on the air right now. We're not even... There they are. The world of bass fishing is our oyster. How could you not be excited about that? For crying out, but you...
They got their Cracker Jacks.
That's how we do it at Ashley Schaefer, right there. That's how we bass fish and talk show. Boom. Hey, again, welcome to the show. Another Wednesday night, and we got a wing dinger worked up, of course. We have the history maker, old Double Easy, the winner of the inaugural Redcrest event for the Bass Pro Tour. Edwin Evers joins us tonight.
Won everything.
Wins everything.
Everything.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Edwin Evers. Evers or Evers?
I say Evers. We'll ask him, though.
Do you say Ayler or Erler?
I say Ayler.
Ayler? But is it Ayler? Andy, is it Ayler or Erler?
Ayler.
It's Ayler. Brent Ayler and Edwin Evers.
Right.
I say Evers. And Ayler.
I say Evers.
I say Evers. We'll ask Edwin.
Well, yeah, he knows his name.
Yeah, we'll ask Edwin. Speaking of a guy who knows his
I
name.
assume.
Wait, I got to get back in time right there. I guess you know your name, don't you? Everybody.
Everybody knows.
Well, I know a guy that knows your name because
in this room.
Yeah, he shares Derby dots with you. He's a Michigan guy. His name is Dark Mahonas.
Zark Mona.
Dark Cajonas. Oh my gosh, that's him. He shared some Derb dots with Ryan Whitaker over the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, the drum guy.
What are you, ComEd?
Yes.
Oysters. Yeah, man. Good weekend. How was your weekend, Pat?
You were like, yeah, man. So I just introduced the fact that you shared Derb dots with Mark Zona, and you said, yeah, man.
Yeah, the zoner.
All right.
He came on rolling by. He's got poles on a pontoon boat. Oh, you want me to talk about that? He told me not to talk.
Oh, yeah, well, you don't have to give the dots.
Well, I don't even know the dots.
Yeah.
I didn't even take dots.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you did because you sent them to everybody.
I have trails.
Well, you sent the dots to everybody. You did a big social media thing, a
It's not true.
live thing. You're like, here, I'm on Zona's spot. Check this out. This is awesome. And then the next thing you know, it's like there was a zillion people on the lake.
This is untrue.
That's a completely true story that I just made up right now. I want to tell you, every right now. Hey, but
yeah, thanks, Zona.
Yeah, way to go.
Caught a bunch of fish.
That's Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. That's that guy right there. Hey, you know who's a smart guy? You know who's super smart because he goes to college. He's That's
Your
right.
mom goes to college.
It's Danny, the intern, Danny Mohan. That's him. I don't know. He almost got in there somehow. I think it's that camera over there by JP. Something happened.
Yeah.
DMO Fishing, College Danny.
Let it be known he leaned
Our
in
intern.
and smiled.
He leaned in and smiled.
Yes.
We're still working on getting a longer cord for Danny. Danny has headphones, though, when he's here, in heart and spirit. Danny Mohan. Give it up for Danny. College Danny. That's the dude. That's the dude right there. How's all saying? That's right. That's right. All right. Round the horn. We're getting it done.
Over to second.
You know what I'm saying?
Third?
You know what I mean? He's got rims on his truck that are so shiny you can see him from space. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the OG hip-hop fisherman, JP High, the hip-hop fisherman. How are you, JP?
Doing all right. What's up, guys?
You doing? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you really okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
all
are
right.
you okay?
I'm doing okay.
Is there anything I can help you with? Do you need any on-air therapy?
You look good.
I'm here. You do. You have a good glow to you. Can I help you with anything, JP? Like, is there anything you want to talk about? Maybe, tell me.
Not on the air.
Well, let's open up. These people love you. They love you, JP. Yeah. We need to break out of just the yeah. There's more to you than yeah. There's more of the JP nuance than yeah. There's more to it. That's baby alligator. Ladies and gentlemen, it's JP High, the hip hop fisherman. He's right there. You have a new YouTube project that you are working on, JP for Stray Cast. Why don't you tell us what that is? What do you got in the old riverbanks right there?
Yeah. Secret.
No, come on.
I don't know what you're talking about. Half the time I don't.
You are not okay. Andy, I'm going to ground him.
JP can't.
Seriously, are you a dum-dum? Like what? I am asking you what you're doing on the YouTube thing, and you have a project you're working on. What is it? For YouTube for Stray Cast.
Hello, dum-dum.
This is unbelievable.
It's got
Wow. I really
something
put
to
it.
do with highlights, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's highlight clips with
Yeah.
with.
Oh, we've been doing that. Yeah, just highlights.
Hey, I thought this was bad cop, bad cop. All right, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
We're
Don't
working
go
on
chasing
some-
waterfalls, kid.
Some highlight clips for when we're not on air.
Yes, thank you very much. Excellent,
The
riveting
One
information.
Wednesday a month. we're
JP
not
High,
on
the hip
air.
hop fisherman, crucial part of the backbone of this
what he's
organization,
doing.
as is evident right there. Which brings me to now, ladies and gentlemen, he's the king of the nighttime world. He's the mayor of Detroit Rock City, but I just know him as Sarah and Gwen's dad. It's the Ginger Ninja, Andrew Ellenberger. Yes. Welcome, Andy.
How you doing, Pat?
Why are you red right now? Is it because of why is there a barrier between you and JP? Why right now?
That's just him,
He's
man.
building a.
He's good.
Oh, okay. No.
He's all right.
He made you turn red.
No.
I mean, not of anger. It was another kind of red. It was. That's not. It was It was another emotion. I don't know what it was.
Oh my God, another big one.
It is. It was just like Ish. Exactly. Another big one. Hey, speaking of big ones, Wednesday nights, here's your chance. Here's the deal. All bass fishermen love free stuff. Okay, so Wednesday nights here on Stray Cast, what you have to do is real plain and simple. You like and share the live Facebook feed. Put it onto your Facebook page, our Facebook page, on your Facebook page. Take it off of privates so JP can see in the randomizer at the end who shared it, and he'll pick a winner out of the randomizer. $50 worth of Bite Me tackle. Amazing jig heads from Brad Zollers and the Zollers boys. Zellers. I say Zollers. I say Zollers. Do you say Ayler or Erler?
Yeah.
Erler?
Yes.
Are you saying Pammon? Is the N silent in Zollers? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, step right
Respect
up.
your errors.
I've learned from the Erlers.
You got to respect your
I
errors.
know. But yes, Brad Zellers, thank you very much, from Bite Me. Still, I'm going to say Zellers. I don't care what you say. $50 worth of Bite Me tackle right there. All you got to do, like and share the live Facebook feed. We'll put it in a randomizer at the end. JP will pick the winner if he can remember to do that at the end of the show. So, you know that they're quiet as a lamb's breath. Put those power poles down. We'll be right back with Double Easy. Edwin Evers. I say Evers. Thank you. Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA. Designed and engineered to be perfect, Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com.
Hey guys, Micah Frazier here. I've got a bait from War Eagle Baits called the Buzz Toad. Big thing lately has been putting a toad style bait on a buzz bait, and preferably it's my favorite way to fish one. This bait here's got a quick planing head, a great hook, and it squeals right out of the package. The body of this bait is big and bulky, so it allows you to skip it. It planes quicker than a skirted bait would. In my opinion, it's just the way to fish a buzz bait. So y'all check this thing out. It's pretty awesome.
The TH Marine Hydrowave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The Hydrowave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The Hydrowave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
Throw farther, get some Kevin Van Dam's line and lure. You can launch it a mile. Still going. Well, better stick to fishing.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
Good evening, and welcome to a special edition of Straycast, the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Something so amazing as professional bass fishing, as the sport of bass fishing, which is so special to us, yet unknown to so many people. This man has made history in the sport of professional bass angling. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you Bass Pro Tour Annihilator. Give it up for old Double Easy, Edwin, I say, Evers, right now. Boom. Welcome to the big show, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Is it Evers or Evers?
It's Evers.
Dang it.
See? Told you.
I owe Ryan $672 now for that bet.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Dang it. All these years I've always thought it was Evers.
It's because of
Nope.
that song.
It's pronounced Evers.
Are you on a roller coaster right now?
No, sitting outside. Why? Is it loud or?
I'm hearing, are you watering the lawn?
Might be a fan. Hold on a minute.
It's the home life. It's Edwin at home.
From the chair.
It's kind of a nice chair.
Is that any better?
It is actually. That's
It is,
perfect,
yeah.
Edwin. Nice.
Oh,
Well,
good.
welcome back, man. I'm glad to have you back on the show, bud.
Thank you, thank you.
What do you? I mean, you're finally recouping. You're settled down a little at home. You're at the crib. Things back to normal.
Yep. Things back to normal a little bit. Just trying to catch up on all the stuff you missed when you're gone for a couple weeks.
Sure. And we learned last time you were on the show, one of your happy places is your recliner and with a remote control. Have you got to enjoy that happy place yet, or no?
No, not really. No.
It ain't happened, huh?
House needs painting, grass needs mowing.
That's right.
Yeah.
We learned. But so really, you haven't had a chance to relax.
No, it's been hectic. It's been super, super busy. We got trying to get the house rebuilt and taking care of everything at the pecan farm. It's just with all the interviews, it's been one after another. It's just crazy.
Round of talk shows. I saw you on news shows, and you had
Yeah.
carnival appearances, all kinds of stuff going on.
Having fun.
It was amazing. But I don't know, and I'm sure you do realize this, but you may not think of it the way that us bass fishing fans do. And the fact of the matter is that you, Edwin, are history. Do you realize that you are part of bass fishing history? Isn't that a crazy concept?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I mean, think about it. Go all the way back to what was the win on Ifella? That was like 2002, 3. I mean, that's your first mark. To me, that's your first mark in bass fishing history. That's where you first went in the record books, right?
Yeah.
Okay, agree or disagree, feel free.
You can't take a tournament win away from anybody. Those go in the record book.
Absolutely, and that was your first stake in there. Not taken away from any of the other 11 derbs you won over there. And then, of course, the 2016 Bassmaster Classic, another page in the history book, right?
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Now you bring yourself to the inaugural season of the Bass Pro Tour, and you just Thanos everybody. You destroy them. Yeah, I mean, boom. It's points leader. You win the inaugural Redcrest. I mean, dude, by
Conroe.
Conroe. Thank you. By a landslide. Unbelievable, man. What is going on here?
Just a good year, I was pretty nervous, pretty excited to go into the year, just with all the unknowns, with all the amazing anglers that signed to go fish, the Major League Fishing Tour, the Bass Pro Tour. It was just one of those years that, man, lots of nervousness going into, changing a career, changing everything that I ever did. And just really excited it turned out so well. It was an up and down year with everything going on, but in the end, it flew by. I can't get over it. It just seems like yesterday we're going down to Toho, and it just flew by, just in a blink of an eye.
But think about how amazing this is, too, Edwin. So when people go back, let's say 20 years from now, and they look about the first season of the Bass Pro Tour, the first name they're going to see is Edwin Evers, okay? Points leader, winner of the Redcrest, winner of a Derby, of Conroe. I mean, that's an amazing, like, think about it. When we were kids, we'd look back, oh, there's Bill Dance's name, there's Roland Martin's name, there's Rayo Breckenridge's name. You know what I'm saying? Now it's going to be like, holy shit, here's Edwin Evers right here. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
It's hard to believe. It was a childhood dream just to make a living fishing, and for you to say those things, it's truly humbling, and I still don't, got to pinch myself and make sure I'm not, dreaming right here as a kid, because I'm absolutely living a childhood dream.
It's amazing. You're a blessed man, sincerely. Give it up for studio audience, round of applause for Edwin Evers. They love you here. You know that. You can hear that.
And talk about making a living fishing. You kind of showed everybody this year the earning potential with this no entry fee format, what you can do.
About a half a mil.
Yeah, about a half a mil.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Hey, so I want to break down a little bit of this Bass Pro Tour history that you have made. Last time you were on the show, we certainly covered the Conroe event, but I'd like to talk about I want to talk about, you kind of jumped full on BPT. You were one of the first guys. You're like, this is it. I'm in. I'm doing this. And obviously you grabbed, I hate to say it, grabbed the bull by the horns and you took to it. You made a full commitment, correct? Right away.
I was in 100%.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
No, I was. I was at a point in my career that I just wasn't happy. I was a little frustrated with things, and just I was kind of burnt out, and I was really done. I don't know how else to say it, but the whole reason I own a pecan farm is I was looking for an exit strategy and to be done, and with the form of the Bass Pro Tour, there's not one time this year I thought about quitting or being done or retiring. And I hope I'm fishing when I'm Rick Clunn's age, because it was a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, in past events, we've noticed that you start to spin out, and we hear, "Dang it, Edwins!" You start talking to you. You're like, "Dang me, dang me to all heck!" But I didn't hear that as much this year.
Oh, I probably got onto myself quite a few times this year. Just I don't. You might not have been watching those days.
Didn't have a camera on. Yeah.
No, I saw a few, but there was a decline. I saw a little more. Nah, you're still crazy. I'm going backtracking all that. You're still a wild man on the water. I could tell you're when it starts boiling. You could tell the spaghetti's almost done. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Is it just that format that really brought you back into it? That really got you excited again? That high energy format like that?
There's a lot of things, but yeah, that format's amazing. That format's truly, truly amazing.
Kept them motivated.
I've seen through watching you through the years. There's guys that look relaxed on the water. There's guys that might have ups and downs, but you always look like a true athlete. Very competitive, and your motor's running the whole day, whether you were with the last tour or this tour. And it really seemed like when that format was announced, I said Edwin Evers is going to thrive in this. I told you that.
Yeah.
I said this guy's going to suck him up. Yeah, and it really showed, and it really seems like you took well to it.
Obviously, after the great year, but it's one of those things that you're engaged from the time they say lines in to the time they say lines out. It's engaging the entire day, and I like that part of it, because there's no slow times, and you're never out of it.
There's no secrets.
Yeah. At any moment, somebody can pull up on a school of fish, and we saw it time and time again this year. Dustin Connell at the very first event, the final period, he pulls up and he goes from last place to almost first by catching all those giant bass there at the mouth of the river that feeds into Kissimmee. It was pretty amazing.
That was awesome, man. And it was kind of, you won the points race, but it was kind of neck and neck there. There was 3 or 4 of you that were right there.
Yep.
Wheeler, Sprague had a phenomenal year this year.
Sprague had a phenomenal year. He was, you look up and down that roster, and, at the start of the year, there's probably not a lot of people that heard of Sprague, so to say, from the bass side of things. And, man, there's no slouches. I don't know what to say. He brought his A game and then some all year long, and thoroughly impressed with him. He'd be one I'd want to go do battle with and have him in my boat.
Absolutely, and no disrespect to Jeff Sprague, awesome dude. We've had him on the show, great guest. But I didn't imagine that that's where he was going to be the first year. I'm really happy to see it. It was amazing, man.
Yeah, great angler. Just goes to show, he adapted to it well, and he's pretty early in his career, and he's you can't take away the talent of the guy. He's really, really good.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So you kind of had a year to adjust and a year to figure out how to fish this format to its full potential, and obviously you did. But tell us something about what was the method to the madness, Edwin? What did you do that was consistent throughout the year that helped you ultimately win the points race and the Redcrest?
I just think making really quick decisions. I just look back to some of those events. I can think of multiple different times throughout the year that I was, let's say, in the bottom 5 at the end of the first period, and just completely making a 180 adjustment and locking down to Lake Kissimmee or at Chickamauga, going to a whole new area or whatever it may be, just making really, really quick decisions, and probably staying pretty mentally strong, because in that format you're never out of it. And just I never quit fishing until they said it was time to quit fishing.
Do you think that the fact that you knew what the other anglers were doing, this may seem like an obvious question, but the fact that you knew what the other anglers were doing influenced that quick decision making on the water?
Oh, without a doubt, because you know where you stand.
Yeah, so I mean, you had to do it. You had no choice. You couldn't just
Yeah.
kick a dead horse and hope for a 6-pounder.
In the past, yeah, you can just kind of, go through the day and get a bite this hour, and 2 hours later get another bite, and an hour later get another bite, and then by the end of the day you can get 5 fish put together. But man, you got to be catching them all day long. up the score tracker.
It puts it on you, no doubt. So what bait did you find was maybe your consistent go-to bait throughout the whole season? Well, if you had to pick one.
Shoot, I caught a lot of fish on a bladed jig, obviously in the first and second events. I think the third event was all flipping a pit boss, and I think of a bait that I caught a lot of key fish on. In North Carolina, I caught 99% of those fish all on a pit boss, a flipping bait. I caught a lot of fish at Conroe on a pit boss and some at Kissimmee. Bladed jig, pit boss. Then you go to Table Rock, completely different event. That was a lot of, little power swimmers and swim baits and a few topwater fish. Caught some fish cranking there. Caught some fish on a drop shot, obviously. And then kind of really the back half of the season, I was still looking for the right bait. I kind of never really felt like I had them figured out. Then again, when we got to the Mississippi River, I caught those fish, probably 60% of them that final day on a pit boss, and the final flurry obviously all came on a vibrating jig, and to get to that point, I caught some fish on a crankbait. But I kept it pretty simple.
So there's not one bait. There's definitely not one.
That's one thing about Major League Fishing. You can't just one bait them to death. You got to make adjustments quick.
Got to have that buffet heated up.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, but a lot of times throughout other tours, we'll hear a guy say, "Yeah, I caught about at least one fish per derb on a shaky head," or one fish per tournament I caught on that vibrating jig.
I don't think I caught one all year on a shaky head. I don't know that I ever even really threw it. And I caught some fish on a drop shot, obviously, Table Rock and Chickamauga. I caught some on a drop shot, but I feel like I lose way too many cotton picking fish on a shaky head. Now, I did catch some fish on a shaky head at the final event, but I don't know. That bait wears me out. I don't like the hookup percentage on it.
Yeah. It's a rough one, man. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the Redcrest. All right. I mean, again, congratulations in order. Just what an amazing tournament, man.
Thank you. It turned out great. It did.
The fact that pool number 7, you had some history there, right? Tell us about the history.
We've had some events there in the past that I felt like I should have won, and I've every event we've had there, with the exception of maybe one or two, I've always fished pool 7, and I just never got it done, and I always left there so mad and shaking my head. And you're probably talking about those instances on TV that I'm losing fish. And, there's a reason. I'm so thankful now that I didn't, because it probably wouldn't have happened in there today. Because, every event I've ever won, I just write that area off if we ever go back. Because generally speaking, with the amount of coverage and everything, it just gets fished really hard. And, heck, I would have never gone back to that area if I'd have won. And I went back there one more time, and, man, the pieces all fell together to make it happen.
It was amazing, and just to watch you go through that final day, go through the rotation there, of baits, and just that was textbook stuff, man. I remember I think you caught some on the top water and some on the throwing the little flat side, the Fritz side in there.
Yeah, that was the first couple rounds. I did. I caught them on a Fritz side. I caught them on a Jaywalker. Those first couple rounds, when we were still in pool 8, and then we went up to pool 7 for the final day. So I really thought I was going to wear them out on that Fritz side. And what was kind of unique about that was, in practice, I was catching 70% smallmouth and some big ones, 3.5 to, I caught a 4.5 pounder in practice. And a lot of times I'd catch 2 of them. I'd have one on the front hook and one on the back hook. And I was just blown away by the time the tournament. At the end of the tournament, I had one smallmouth, and it all changed over to largemouth by the time the competition started, on that side and the top water. But it was a tournament of adjustments. It was a tournament that I've never worked so hard to try to fish on Friday. You know, that second day of the event, I had a couple schools of fish that I had saved in my back pocket that I thought were going to be really good, and I made a decision. I wanted to finish 14th or 15th. I wanted to finish right there. I didn't want to try to get to 10th or 11th. I felt like I'd burned too many fish, and I wanted to finish 14th or 15th because I wanted to fish on Friday with the amount of boat traffic. And like 2 hours into it, I'd like shake 4 of them off, you know, on this swim bait that I was throwing, and then I'd catch one because somebody passed me. And then it was the most nerve-wracking day I've ever had in my life trying to stay right there in that spot. And then like with 3 minutes to go, I've got one on the line, and I let him swim around for 3 minutes. Wait to see if that score tracker's ever going to adjust, and it didn't adjust, and I just ended up letting the fish go because I didn't want to change any of that, and a lot of strategy goes into that.
That's a whole hidden factor right there.
And then I saved all those fish, you know, I saved all those fish. Like I had two schools that I thought were like dynamite. And I hit them like that knockout round. I hit them and I hit them and I can't catch anything. And then finally at the end of the day, there's a few fish that show up on them. And then I still had 20 minutes to go. And Stephen Browning catches like a 210. And it was complete chaos. That last 30 minutes, my heart was beating through my chest. It was the most brutal 30 minutes of my career all year, just trying to make it to pool 7 and trying to survive. And I words can't describe how brutal it was, but fortunately I was able to catch a couple there in the last 90 seconds and make it to the championship round. So,
and the rest is history.
What's that?
And the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history.
So when you were, I want to go back to that. I'm sorry, I want to go back to that Fritz side. So I could have sworn on the last day, when you were like on that half-hour flurry, you weren't throwing that Fritz side at all at him?
No, that was all bladed jig.
Okay, I thought you were alternating between those. That's what I thought I saw.
I actually picked it up and threw it, but those fish were in about 1.5 feet of water, and that Fritz side, you know, no matter how high I holded my rod or how big a line, it got too deep. You know, those fish were really shallow, and they're actually feeding up, not down, and it just wasn't. It was just too deep a diving bait for how shallow those fish were.
Now, does that Fritz side come in different bill
configurations?
It's different.
5, 7, and a 9.
Which one has more like the square circuit board bill? You know, the coffin type one. The
5.
The 5.
You ask about baits this year. You know, I started off with that thing at the Classic and caught like a 5-pounder at the Classic. It really opened my eyes to it. But then Smith Lake, I caught majority of my fish on it, and then like 2-3 other events, and then obviously at the Redcrest. That bait's a bait that I'm wishing they'd take a couple more years to get out because it's an amazing bait. I see you've got power bait. Have you thrown any of them yet?
See, that's what we had first was the little small build ones, but then
that's the one.
I mean, you guys had them at the Classic. You and Justin Lucas were hoarding them. I saw what you were doing. I saw those.
Bait flat catches them.
And then David Fritz, when he was showing us, he had a bigger build one, but he was playing. I don't know what he was doing. He was kind of honeying us up a little because he's like, oh, no, this is the one. This is the only one that comes in. But now I'm confused because we had a short bill one.
We got to figure out what depth you need to fish them. You know, that 7 and that 9 is going to be really good. Outside grass edges, like just deeper water, clearer water.
No, I'm content with the 5. That's what I'm saying. That's throw it. I don't fish anything deeper than my flipping stick can touch anyway. So that's
you don't go out there.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah, I'm scared by that. If my 8-foot power poles don't hit, I'm out of here. I'm gone. I'm out. But man, again, amazing flurry. It was great to see you, and it just shows in fishing. I don't care if it's a weekend derby fishing with your buddy, or we've seen it so many times. Once you get that hot stick, man, it just kind of goes. That's happened. I'm sure you've gotten your butt kicked a few times too that way. You know.
No doubt, no doubt. You can look at the run. Kevin Van Dam's been on multiple times, and Jordan Lee, and a lot of those guys. You know, they will get flat after it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And just an amazing 2019 season, and capping it with no better way possible. Your victory, boom, right there. Amazing.
It was amazing. It was so fortunate, so blessed beyond measure. It just, I don't know what to say about it. Just, it was amazing. It was a lot of fun this year.
And you're part of history, dude. That's unbelievable. All right,
That's hard to put.
Hey, that kind of covers the regular bass fishing portion of our show, Edwin. Okay. So now let's have a little fun. What do you say?
Yeah, let's get for it. Yeah.
All right,
come on
man.
in.
Come. How about let's see. How about some hop in my truck music? Give me some. Yeah, come on, Edwin.
Oh man, I got them all. You name them, I've got them. I've got them from Luke Bryan to Keith Combs to heck, I've got some. I mean, old rock and roll to. I'd be embarrassed to say some of the stuff that might go
it's
on.
Okay. You know what we got? 70s detective cop music going right now. That's what this is, and this is a brand new show that you're invited to. It's called the Hip Podcast Show, and you're in my truck right now, and it's gonna be kind of like like Seinfeld's got comedians in cars drinking coffees and stuff.
Yeah.
This is gonna be bass guys in a diner because they can't go fishing that day because the weather's too bad.
Sitting in an attic.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
So we're going to go in the diner. I'm going to pull in here. How you like this spot? Looks good, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull in. Let's pull into this diner. Here it is. This looks like a nice place.
Get the meter.
There it is.
Don't forget the
All right.
meter.
It's a lovely diner. Ba-boom, boom, boom. Welcome. Ah, yes. Here we are. We're in the diner now. See how that happened? Oh, my gosh. Hey, yeah, just sit down, Edwin. Get comfortable. We're going to do diner bass guy talk stuff now. All right, it's kind of a form of 20 questions, but
Where's this diner located at?
let's say we are over, what's that town over there in Tennessee on Kentucky Lake where all them willow bushes flood up and you go flipping for them in the spring? What's New Johnsonville?
New Johnsonville.
We're in a crappy diner in New Johnsonville, but it's crappy looking, but they have great food. So don't worry, you're going to be fine.
Your part of the world, are you talking about crappy, or like where I call them crappie, or are you talking about the food's kind of crappy?
Kind of crappy, not sockalized, but the food's great. We're on the same page. That's very good. It's very good.
I didn't know if you're talking crappie fishing or bass fishing. I'm just trying to stay up with you now.
We're in the diner. I'm relaxed. Are you relaxed now, Edwin?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I promise.
Good.
I'm good.
Very good. Hey, just going to ask you random questions about fishing and life. So, Edwin, I ask a lot of professional bass anglers this. If you could envision that perfect sponsor, one that you do not have already, one that you would love to obtain, what would that sponsor be?
No doubt, 100%. For me in my life, this is probably not as funny as you're wanting to hear, but I want Kubota. I want Kubota tractors. I love Kubota. I bleed orange. Like everybody around me is all John Deere, but I just like Kubota. I've got Kubota tractors. I own everything they make, and I want them as a sponsor. I'd have my whole boat orange if I had Kubota as a sponsor.
That's a great answer. We've got
Kubota.
Yeah, we've got Gucci as an answer before. Mountain Dew, of course, we've gotten but Kubota is a first, and that's a great answer.
Yep.
Absolutely. Hey, how about those Berkeley plastics, man? I mean, seriously, that Max scent?
Yeah.
That's some nutty stuff.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, there's some weird wizardry in that stuff. It's
top secret.
I don't know why it's working so good. I'm being serious, even though I said wizardry. It really is. I don't know why to you is it that good. Is it emulsifier or an emancipator? I don't know what it is.
you just go take a big old bite of it and you tell me.
Oh my gosh! The first time I ever encountered the Max scent, I have a bad problem. That's gonna come out wrong, but I have a bad problem with like gagging after I smell things. It's awful. So anyway, I was fishing with the Ginger Ninja in the boat, and he opened up the bag of Max scent, and it was awful. I almost puked. It was horrible. But they catch fish every time. I don't understand why they're so damn good.
Yeah, I bit a chunk off like you do.
Yeah, that's dumb.
to shorten the bait
Yeah,
last
no, you
weekend.
tear them.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
That stuff sticks around. in
I
your
was
mouth for a
hoping you
while.
would give me an answer, like what the deal is. Nobody will be straight with me. I even asked Brad Rutherford over there at Berkeley, and he doesn't even. He's like, I can't tell
Is
you.
it pheromones
I'd
or
have
what?
to kill you.
What's
top,
in there?
Top secret stuff. I'm not privileged enough to know.
All right, figured you were since you won a big Redcrest and everything. Sorry, sorry about that, Edwin. Hey, since you're a bass fishing pro, sometimes you are called upon by your sponsors to, go get me a picture fish, buddy. I need a picture fish. Is there a spot around your house where you could maybe round up a quick picture fish?
Right there.
There it is.
Aha! Look how beautiful that is. That was amazing. That's the magic of a bass fishing talk show. Stop everything and give me a round of applause right there. That's how you do it. That is how you do it right there. Amazing. Amazing. Whew. Let's get back to the diner. I think it's time to order. Let's order. This is they got great food here, and there's actually a pick three. Pick three. I'll go first. I'm gonna order. Okay. I'm gonna get the country fried steak. I'm gonna get the popcorn shrimps. The popcorn with the coconut shrimps. I'd like the prime rib. The garlic mash, and to top it off for dessert, I think I'm going to get the caramel cinnamon.
Glaze?
Yeah, no, the E2. No, the caramel cinnamon E2 pecan cheesecake. That's what
There you go.
I'm capping it off with. What are you gonna get?
And you say we're at a diner in Kentucky, because I always have to preface wherever we're at and eat kind of that food from that region. I
kind of did that.
Yeah,
I kind of got that country gravy.
You got dinner.
I got all kinds of stuff.
you did.
Yeah, it's a pick
I
three.
pictured this diner. I thought we were pulling in there in the morning, like on the way to the lake, because
I'm
we're
with
going to flip willow trees. So I'm ordering like a Western omelet with pecani sauce on it. I'm gonna have me some hash browns on the side, and it's gonna have like some toast with strawberry jelly. I mean, because in my mind we're headed to the lake.
Okay. Well,
I felt what you were feeling too. I thought it was breakfast time.
we're stuck there.
I was gonna get some grits.
I'm thinking like we're in a Waffle House here. I mean, that's just kind of like.
Oh, I respect your meal. Don't get me wrong. Throw a little side of biscuit gravy in there and just as a sampler platter.
There you go.
Did you ever go in that little diner there in New Johnsonville and they got the cheesiest picture of Skeet Reese on the wall? It's amazing.
I had never been.
It's so great. I hope you see it someday. Hey, when you think of a professional bass fisherman, when you were a kid, who's that professional bass fisherman? Who was that guy?
It was a toss-up, man. Both the guys that I truly looked up to was Clun and Mark Davis.
Okay, so those two dudes still going strong.
Yeah, both of them. They were both on top of their game, back in the 90s, and great. Both of them great guys.
Yeah, and congratulations, Mark Davis, on Hall of Fame too.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Just got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, sometimes if you ever wake up in the middle of the night to like strange noises, do you ever sometimes somewhere in your mind think it might be Jason Christie coming to get revenge? Is it possible?
There was a few times, they're rooming with him that year after. I was like, dadgummit, I better sleep with one eye open. Of all the people to do that to, that's pretty brutal to do it to your roommate and your buddy. So, no, he's all good with it, and he took it well, and there had to be a winner that day.
So you never felt like cold steel on your neck and then him going, shh, 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 shh.
If he did, he didn't get it close enough to where I felt it.
That's good enough. Hey, tell me the story of that the origin of that Andy jig, that E-jig, that ball head.
That's a pretty cool story. I was actually up there in, I think it was Connecticut, Massachusetts, one of those states up there doing a boat show early 2000, 2001, 2002. And, you go to all those events and people always are handing you stuff and this, that, and the other. And, he handed me like some jigs and some hair jigs. And being from Oklahoma, neither one of them was something ever even remotely thought about throwing. But fast forward a few years, I learned a little bit more about that old brown living rubber, and I was like, man, somebody gave me some of those one time, and started throwing them and catching a bunch of fish on them. And obviously, the Classic winning it on that bait, and then St. Lawrence winning it on that exact same hair jig that he gave me. That's just how it all went down, and then developed a relationship with him and was getting a bunch of baits from him.
And and that thing goes through pretty much anything, that ball head.
Oh,
design.
yeah.
It's
Great. It's nothing different than anybody else's ball head. It's not, but the best part of it is hand tied, and it's that old brown flat living rubber. Stuff that you just cannot get anymore. He's figured out a way to get more of it.
Got a nice hook on there too.
Yeah, I mean, in that ball again. I was referring to that ball head in general. Man, that's just a lot.
It's been around. Yep.
And Gerald Swindle once put it to us that it's one of the best skipping jig heads there is, because of the fact that it's round. And think about, if you're going to skip something on the water and you throw a ball, it's going to skip every time. But a flat stone, it's going to skip, but you got to hit it right.
Yeah.
A ball's going to go every time. That's the tip of the week. Maybe.
There it is.
I don't know what that is. Hey, are you always pegging your slip sinkers? I mean, there's that school, the yes, no.
No, not always.
I mean,
open water, definitely not. Around, standing timber, no. But anytime I'm trying to get it up over into something, in grass, in bushes, yes, then it's getting pegged every time.
but the majority of the time that you are flipping or pitching, it's going to be pegged, I would assume.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Not like the Shaw Grigsby method.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah, Shaw
Shaw doesn't peg, right?
doesn't peg.
And Brower is the same way a lot of times. They want you to think they do, but they really don't. I don't know. Hey, you want to build a bass lake together? You already got a bass lake in your backyard, but like.
Oh, I'd like to build a big one. I want to build a big one. Yeah, let's do it.
So like, if I was gonna build a bass lake, I would have it like built into different parts to just to fit everything that I desire about bass fishing. I'd have a little weedy section over there for frogging and flipping mats. I'd have me a timber section with no weeds at all, just laydowns and bushes and good flipping stuff and square bill crankbait stuff. Now I'd have a riprap section, and then I'd have a section that was 20 foot but was loaded with fish, and that would bring me over my fear of deep water. And that would be my deal there. Like, what?
It's past Denny Brower days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what did I leave out? What else should we have in this lake?
Well, you gotta have like vegetation, flipping grass, throwing that jig in there. You gotta have some frog water, some lily pads. You gotta have a boat dock,
Boat docks.
You gotta have a couple boat docks, floating and stationary. We're making the perfect bass lake here. I want some pea gravel banks. I want a perfect ledge out there at 16 foot and falls off to 24, that right on a point that you can just crank all day long and catch 5-pounder after 5-pounder.
Yes, and we could like have pre-installed white discs. They don't even have to make beds. They're just like embedded in the ground, and the fish just swim up, and we go whoop, doop, and we practice sight fishing. So this has turned into the Denny Brower Bass School Lake. Remember when he did bass class?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, he'd rip people apart on that. He was ruthless.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I think you're gonna need multiple lakes though, because you're gonna need stained water and clear water.
No.
And semi-stained.
Yeah,
and real muddy.
Have like little lock and dam that you just open.
There you go.
From the side to the muddy side.
Perfect.
Yep, that'd be good.
Open up tributaries if we really want to test our skills to change current flow. Tidal stuff we could pipe in.
Change the level.
Yes.
Be one thing I need work on.
Yeah.
Don't we all? Call Pete Glusick. He knows how to fish tides.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. He does anyway. Hey, when was the first time you ever drove a high-performance bass boat, man? Like, think about it. You went from, like, probably John boats or, mediocre boats to that first big deal. You remember that experience?
Oh, heck yeah. Like it was yesterday. I had a 16-foot, 8-inch Super Sport
Ooh.
with a 150 XR4 on it, Mercury.
Oh, my gosh.
Ooh,
And that thing,
a little
that
overpowered.
was so much fun to drive. It was 16 foot long, and I paid $6,000 for it. It's probably my third year in college, and yeah, it's a pretty awesome boat. Caught a lot of fish out of it.
I mean, you just and think about the excitement, those transitions for us, the progression as bass anglers. You know, we're walking in the water, then we buy a floaty raft at Kmart, and then we get a little John boat, and then into a high performance bass boat. And the first time I ever went out in a high performance bass boat of my own, I got the trimming backwards, Edwin. So I trimmed the motor all the way up, and I floored it, and my boat went just like an elephant. I said, whoops, wrong way, and I learned. I learned after that, man.
Out at the lake here on Labor Day, and there's a whole bunch of those same type of people out there trying to put their boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was grossly undereducated at that time. Hey, do you ever feel bad for monofilament, the forgotten line?
You know, yeah, but it's not completely forgotten. It's something I still carry. I still order it every year. We just don't use like we used to. I use it all on leaders for top waters and that kind of stuff. But man, how did we ever get by all those years with that stuff? You know, how much stretch it had.
Yeah.
How it was crazy. And now, you know, we don't, like you say, it's pretty much forgotten.
We got a viewer mail from monofilament, and it was, what the heck happened to my chair? It was extremely upset that nobody's paying. What is going on?
Jeez.
Wow. I completely
Somebody sabotaged your
yeah,
chair.
my chair just went down. It was like the C2 pumps in my I gotta call those guys.
Did you say we got mail from monofilament?
Yes, we got mail from monofilament. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was upset. That was the whole thing. Hey, you know how certain guys are like, you know, they're like leg men or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you got certain part of the woman's body that they might say, "Hey, I'm a leg man." You know. Like, what's your boat part? You know, what's your favorite part of your boat?
Oh, my boat. I thought you had my brain going on my wife, and I'm just thinking,
I did that.
I couldn't pick one.
Hey, by the way,
Why?
Tuesday is an amazing name. That is a super cool name. I just want to get that out there. It's one of the coolest names I've ever heard, honestly. True story. Anyway.
Pretty awesome. Anyway, back to the boat. I got to refocus. My favorite part of the boat, it'd be behind the wheel. You know, driving it right behind the console, no doubt.
Yeah,
cockpit man.
Yeah, right there. I mean, remember when bass boats didn't have hydraulic steering? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was a workout right there.
Bad, wasn't it?
That's crazy.
I still don't have it. I will in 1 week.
Well, yeah, there you go. Hey, now that you're an even bigger shot in the world of professional bass fishing, let's work on a sitcom for you. You know? So I have an idea. So it's you're trapped on this desert island, right? And you're trapped there by yourself, and you got to get back to your family in the world of bass fishing. And nobody knows where Edwin is. So all you have is one of your signature rod and reels with you. But what you do is you take that little floaty tennis ball thing off of the back of your rod, and you put a note in it. You put a little note, and you sail that thing off into the ocean. So who finds you and who rescues you? Tell us that story. Who's your
I'll be
Wilson?
honest, I'm gonna get my, I'm gonna get off that island myself, but I don't know that I'm gonna wait for somebody to come get me. I'm gonna figure out a way to get off of it.
Right.
One way or the other.
Build that raft.
So how are you going to do it? Give us some resources. We got to build this. We got to build this sitcom up and pitch it to the execs.
Yeah, we're going to start, using what resources we have there, whether it's lumber or something that's floated up or, harnessing something. We're going to make it, we're going to do like what's his name with Wilson, he figured out a way to build him a raft.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Tom Cruise.
Tom Hanks went on a cruise.
Tom Hanks.
Yes.
And we're gonna go all Wilson on him.
You'll get off of that island, and then you'll be back in time to win the 2020 Redcrest.
There we go.
Amazing
Yep.
story. Amazing story. Hey, what's the biggest misconception about professional bass fishermen? I ask this to guys too, and the number one answer we get is that they're all rich. Okay, that's
Yep.
the number one answer we get. What do you think the biggest misconception?
I think the biggest misconception is that the majority of the United States population doesn't know anything about it. Flying on an airplane, that's the dreaded question you always get with the guy in the business suit sitting next to you. What do you do for a living? And you try to explain, well, I fish for a living. And then, oh, so you guide or you do this or that or the other. So the biggest misconception is that it's just a weekend hobby. They don't really understand that people make a living doing it.
Yeah, and think about it though. But that's something that we need to overcome too, because of the way things started with bass fishing. And I mean, I'm going to go back a little bit here, but the upper echelon or the eclectic fished for trout, man, salmon, like in the early Americas. That was the first sign of privilege. You were fishing for those fish. Now the guys with the cut bait and live shiners were on the bank fishing for the bass. So bass fishing has really evolved to now, let's face it, more often than not a rich man's sport. You can still do it.
But yeah, it's kind of going that direction. But there's a lot of guys out there with kayaks. The kayak segment, doesn't make it a rich man's sport. I hope it doesn't turn into that. I grew up fishing in a one-man, kick boat, a glorified inner tube, and won my first tournament out of it. So hopefully it doesn't turn in. I want the kids and everybody to be able to get out there and fish ponds. That's where I started. I didn't come from parents that bass fished any, nor had a boat of any shape, form, or fashion. And, here I am today that made a living doing it without parents that had those things. So I still think there's an avenue for the younger generations to get here. It may be a little harder, but
sure.
You always fish as a co-angler or a non-boater in some of these leagues and make it happen.
And that's the avenue. I mean, and basically what I said is it is a rich man's sport because of a lot of things that are happening. Okay, so in other words, you got guys out there that have 20-inch rims on their, or 25-inch rims on their truck and $72,000 bass boats, but they don't have the entry fee for the next derby, So there's that misconception too that some people make it a rich man's sport, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. Yeah,
when it doesn't have to be, and I think that's what kind of you're alluding to. We could still catch fish out of aluminum boats and out of kayaks and
in the local derbies. You're worried about the guy in the beater. He's
I
gonna
tell
catch him.
guys, kids all the time, they compliment my boat, my nitro, and this, that. And I was like, guys, the boat don't catch them. That aluminum boat right over there, or that kayak can catch just as many bass as my boat right here. It's the boat is not the tool to catch them. You don't have to have that. It's the guy behind the rod and the reel. So it's a great point to bring up, and I just hope all the kids listening that they can get here without having those $70,000 bass boats.
Absolutely. Speaking of when you were a kid, like, what was the first lure that you kind of had a little bass fishing love affair with? Like that first lure, man. What was that one?
I'll tell you exactly. It's not even in existence. But do you remember those old Norman triple wing buzzbaits?
Yes, of course.
Yes. That was like one year I asked Dad for my birthday gift for a guided fishing trip. And I wanted to go catch bass. And I remember I caught 3 that day on that buzzbait, and it was amazing. That was the bait that was so awesome for me.
The triple wing Norman, yeah. And for me, it was like I first it was the man's jelly worm. I just caught a bunch of fish on that thing, and then the old Bagleys, man. I really started to get into that deal,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, and we've talked about it before. It's kind of like, all right, the hook that we get for bass fishing is the progression that we still get to play with toys. You know what I mean? Even as adults.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool thing about it, man. I'll tell you. But, so we've talked before on this show, and you said that if you had to most favor or resemble a celebrity, you picked Johnny Rambo, that you would be Johnny Rambo. Okay.
Hey, did you know the new movie's coming out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Last Blood.
I heard you read for the part. I heard you were there.
I can't wait.
Is Dennehy going to be
Our
in it?
football coach actually he called and texted because we never missed one of the opening nights of any of those first ones. And this is my football coach from a long time ago. And he said, "Hey, we're gonna make it." So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get to Texas. And he's gotten a little bit older, but I'm gonna try to get down there and pick him up and surprise him. And we're gonna go see the new Rambo, First Blood, whatever it's called. So,
Last Blood.
Last Blood. Yeah.
Last Blood.
That's what it is.
It's gonna be brutally bad, but
It's okay though, Edwin. I don't care.
That'll make it better.
I'll still watch it, man. So anyway, what celebrity annoys you? Like, just what's that annoying celebrity that you just that's the chalkboard feeling?
the annoying celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh man. You get me with these questions. I can think of a few that I'd probably rather not say, but it'd have to be some of those news people, just some of those news people just wear me out. Just the drama of the people on the Weather Channel with acting like it's the and I know it's bad, but then you see somebody behind them swimming out in the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what's going on here?
I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I can't stand Rosie O'Donnell. Anytime she comes on, it just drives me bonkers, and that the TV's going off. It's done.
I
Done
don't
deal.
think she's on TV anymore.
Whatever. I can't
You
stand
got your
her.
wish.
Yeah, she did something all right. That's for sure. Hey, man, I say that we just pretty much cap this thing up with a little bass fishing history lesson. What do you think?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, let's cap it up. I mean, you are part of bass fishing history now. You are in the record books. So hopefully you know about bass fishing history because we're going to play the bass fishing trivia history game.
All right, let's go.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
What's his prize, Andy? What does he win? What's Edwin's prize?
A Bite Me Jig package.
A new car. You want a new car. If you get
All
this
right.
right, you get a new car. There it is. All right. Here's the first question. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Do you
What?
know the answer without looking at the answer?
Yeah, I wrote the questions. I really did.
okay.
I wrote the questions, swear to you. This is from my mind, okay?
Okay.
What town was the famous Bassmaster cartoon characters Harry and Charlie from?
Man, you're gonna have to make it a little bit easier.
No,
I'm
no.
gonna have to say like Baton Rouge, Louisiana. To me, they came from down south somewhere, but I don't know the town.
You're very close. We're going to give you partial credit because it is from the swamps of Louisiana, but it was Swamp Gas Corners.
Oh, it was.
Swamp Gas Corners.
Very good. Very good.
That is right. What? Sorry, that totally distracted me.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. What member of the black bass family holds this scientific name? Microteparis punctualis.
Oh,
Microteparis punctualis. What member of the black bass family is that scientific name?
I don't.
Well, it's not. It's not the largemouth. The largemouth is Salamoides. Microteparis salamoides.
Yeah.
So it's either the smallmouth, the Guadalupe, the spot, the red eye, or the celebrity gullion.
I'm gonna go Guadalupe.
Guadalupe is it's incorrect. That's the spotted bass.
Spotted bass.
The punctual spotted bass, because they're always
They're always
they're
on
always
time.
there for you when you need a 12-incher.
Yeah.
That's
right.
the old spot. All right, you're doing horrible at this,
Always
Edwin.
get to your jerk bait on time.
I am.
You're doing. You gotta study up for next time.
Okay.
All right. What lake did George W. Perry supposedly catch the world record largemouth bass on, or catch the world record?
I know that. Montgomery.
Yes, that is correct.
Correct.
Montgomery Lake in Georgia. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. What form of transportation is responsible for the widespread of the largemouth bass in the late 19th century? What form of transportation is responsible for the spread of the largemouth bass in the late 19th century across the Americas?
Wow.
North America, anyway.
Train.
Train is correct. Train is the correct answer.
Wow.
Yeah, very good. These guys.
Very good.
What did you say earlier when I asked you
I
that?
said eagles.
He said eagles. Like, what the heck is eagles?
I thought he meant like like a, not a purposeful transportation.
All right, this is for all the marbles.
Plus, I didn't care.
This is for the new car. This is for the new Kubota tractor, right here.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
This company claims to have invented and distributed the first lead slip sinker for Texas rigged worms. Designed
What's that?
and distributed.
I'd have to say bullet.
Bullet weight is correct. Edwin Evers is a true champion. He nailed the contest. There it is. You are a champ, sir. Give me an internet high five on that one.
Thank you.
Internet
All
high
right,
five. Yeah, there it
He
is.
got
Right.
the train one. That's crazy.
He did. He got the train. That was the hardest one.
Yeah.
Microtopius punctualis was not even that hard.
I thought it was made up.
Yeah, he did good. Hey, man. Anything you want to say before we get out of here, bud?
No, appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, man. Again, congratulations and thanks for coming on this show, taking time out of your busy talk show tour schedule.
No, always time for you guys. Anytime, every time. So thank you
Appreciate
guys.
it. That's Edwin Evers. Give it up one
Thank
more
you.
time for the champ. That's him. Peace, bud. Thanks so much. Get some rest.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Take care. Old Edwin.
Yeah.
He's got the good Fritz sides. See? See, I knew that.
Are they not out yet?
No, they're out there on the tackle. I know David Fritz was sandbagging is what he was doing to us because he was showing us the deep divers. And
Yes.
I'm like, well, Lucas got this.
He's throwing them on braid.
Yeah,
Yeah, he throws them on braid.
Andy's throwing them on
He
braid.
turns it into a shallow diver with braid.
Andy's throwing them on braid.
Right.
Hey, you guys feel like going to a carnival? So let's get a little carnival.
Carnival?
Ah, yes. Step right up. Step right up.
We're going to a carnival.
Kiss the bearded lady. I guess you're the bearded lady.
Can you get me an elephant ear?
Yes, extra cinnamon sprinkles.
All right.
Extra cinnamon sprinkles. Ryan, do you know what happened this day in bass fishing history?
The corn dog was invented?
The corn dog was invented in
this day in bass fishing history?
This day in bass fishing history.
No,
Then
I
I
don't
bu-
know.
Do you know?
I was thinking carnival.
Well, if
I
you had
do
to
not
guess,
know. If I had to guess this day
in bass fishing history, today is August what?
No, today is September.
September 46th.
4th.
September 4th. So think about it. September 4th. What could have happened this day in
Could it
bass
have
fishing
been
history?
the first Bassmaster Classic?
The first Bassmaster Classic.
They wouldn't do that in September, would
What
they?
do you think, Dan?
End of the season?
What do you think?
Lake Mead?
September 4th in
1971?
bass fishing history.
We had Edwin on for the second time.
Had Edwin on for the second time. That's bass fishing history. But what actually
That's
happened?
true.
September 4th, 1968, Bill Dance stopped at a Stuckey's in Tennessee and bought his first volunteer baseball hat. This day in bass fishing history.
Is that a true story you just made
I
up?
just made that up. Completely made that up. But it sounded real,
I thought
right?
so.
It sounded
No.
real.
No.
No, Bill Dance goes to Stuckey's.
Yeah, but
Did you ever buy a smoking
68,
monkey?
he was wearing that way before 68, wasn't
Oh, no. Bass was
Don't you
invented
think?
in 67. Ray Scott, the first bass deal was 67.
he? I never seen him
Dance
fish
started
without
to
a hat.
bloom in 68.
Yeah?
Actually, he used to wear a cowboy hat in 67, and Forrest Wood got mad at him because that
Really?
was Forrest
That
Wood's
was his
deal.
look.
So they fought, yeah.
Was there anybody
Over a
else
dead
back then
bass
that wore
named
a
Leroy
cowboy
Brown
hat?
that belonged to Tom Mann.
Was there anybody else wearing a cowboy hat?
Rayo
on the basketball?
Breckenridge.
That's true.
Rayo had one. Bobby
Mann.
Bear, when he was on Roland Martin and Bill Dance's show,
Okay.
made cameos. He had those too.
Who else?
Who told us where Orlando Wilson lives?
Oh,
Oh, it was Paul Benson.
Paul Benson.
Paul Benson knows exactly where
lives in the
Orla-
same town, right?
Yeah, as Paul Benson. Like
that was amazing. We need to follow up on that. by
Paul
the way.
Benson and Orlando kill armadillos together.
We need to get Orlando on the show.
We learned that. Speaking of killing armadillos, what do you say we give away some prizes?
Yeah.
Well, you want to do it, JP?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Did you randomize it?
It's done.
His Royal Highness J.P. High.
It's exciting, this one. Wild Bill.
Wild Bill!
Lossman.
Yes!
You finally won something, bud.
He did! We love Wild Bill. I love that guy.
Wild Bill, if you're still watching, hit us with a DM to that Straycast page, and we'll ship them out to you.
Hashtag Wild Bill for president.
Hashtag super fan.
Yeah, he's amazing, man. And
He is. He brings the people here.
he sure does.
does.
Thank you
Every
so
week.
much for your support
Yeah.
of Straight Cast, Wild
And
Bill. I'm really glad you
congratulations.
won. We were going to send you something anyway, actually. We were talking about that the last time. But that's awesome, dude. And all you our Brad is going to send it from Bite Me Tackle, correct, Andy? A $50 fun pouch, a koala pouch.
Party pouch.
Wild Bill, you better still be here.
We actually call it the Wild Bill pouch.
I'm sure he's around.
The Wild Bill pouch pack that he won from Brad Zellers. Right, Andy?
Yep.
Evers. It's
Evers.
This just in.
Zealers?
Zellers.
Zellers?
Zellers. Yes, but thank you very much, Brad and Bite Me Tackle, for your support of Stray Cast. And again, check them out, bitemetackle.net. Awesome jig heads for every situation. Swim baits, Ned heads, shaky heads, tube heads, of course. They got it all. Give them a spin around the block, kick the tires. Bitemetackle.net.
Yes, sir.
Hey, with that being said, man, step right up. Shake false dreams from your head.
Are we taking a ride to the 60s?
World of bass fishing galaxy. When the still sea conspires in armor, and the tides rise and fall, and Pete Glusick arises through the pale shrunken gold, you will know that the bass gods have smiled upon us, and our show has come to an end.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Tomorrow I enter the town of my birth. Good night.